Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, welcome to Industrial Talk. And as you can tell by the buzzy buzz in the background, we are broadcasting on-site FABTECH 2022, Atlanta, Georgia. And again, it's spectacular. And if you don't put this on your calendar for next year, and if you're missing out, you're missing out big time. Next year is going to be bigger and better. And we're going to have all that, I guess, scheduling information out there on industrialtalk.com. Now, in the hot seat, Andrew Robling, Epicor, ERP conversation, because we need it and you need it. Let's get cracking. Yeah. I can't even say have you had a good conference because you're the first one out of the gate. And you'd be lying.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? And it's a pleasure meeting you.
I'm doing great. I'm very happy to be here, Scott. I'm really impressed with the show so far. I heard that the numbers are going to be back to the 2018 levels, so that's pretty impressive.
What is that number?
I'm not sure what the number is, but there's a lot of people here.
So far, we were scrambling just to get here. Hall A. We're in Hall A. And we were just scrambling to get here just to set up. So we haven't even been to B and C.
Okay, yeah.
Is there like two more, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're in the A hall right here. Yeah, we have actually a booth in Hall B, and then there's a Hall C as well.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm all giddy. Living the Discovery Channel dream. Okay, before we get into the Epicor Software Corporation conversation, give us a little background on Andrew and why you're such an incredible professional.
All right, Scott. Well, let's see. I guess I've been in the manufacturing space for a long time. When I was making my way through college, I actually worked in a manufacturing injection molding plant in my summer. So that was kind of fun stuff. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah. Sadly, I'm old and I've been around a lot.
There you go. And then I started working for a company called CMS Software in about 1998. CMS. So it was an ERP software company.
Yeah.
Still an Epicor product today, focused on the automotive industry. So that's my background.
Right. And so you've been with Epicor for a long time?
A long time. I've done professional services, so helping customers put ERP in. I was a solution engineer, helping sell the software.
Has it changed dramatically? Implementations have changed dramatically.
Yep, I think so. Yeah.
And I not to say that it's easy. No, I'm not.
Nope.
Don't even think about it. I'm not saying it. It requires incredible professionals, but I think that it's to a point where this is doable. Because when I was and my team were implementing ERPs, you had custom interfaces and the data cleaning would I don't want to do that,
Nope.
So let's dive into Epicor. What is, let's say, Epicor's core capability outside of ERP? What industries are you focused in on?
Yeah, good question. So kind of at a high level, we are anyone that makes, sells, or buys things. So think manufacturing, distribution, retail. On the manufacturing side, which I think your audience is probably most interested in, would be fabricated metals would be a big one. Industrial machinery would be another really big one as well.
Why is this important for companies to say, hey, I need a system, and I need a system that can handle whatever the financials, the purchase, the whatever it does. Do you get into also asset management and tracking those assets as well?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, I think it's really important to be able to run your business, do things like being able to control your inventory, control things like orders, make sure your shipments are getting out on time. Things like real-time visibility now, something that we probably dreamed about 20 years ago, right? And now that's critical to make business decisions, right, out there.
Do you find that, let's just sort of lay it on the table, there's always a human resource challenge. And I think that there's this churn that takes place. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but I believe that there is a necessity to have that visibility because there's just coming and going of people.
Yep, 100% agree with that. I'm actually speaking tomorrow about the labor shortage and how an MES solution can help with that. So,
hold it. You threw out an acronym. MES. What does that stand for?
Yeah. So MES stands for a manufacturing execution system. So it's about connecting to machines, Scott, gathering information in an automated fashion.
MES.
Yep.
See? I've done 5,000 of these things, and I still are learning. MES.
Manufacturing execution system. You got it. Yeah.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so think about taking the human equation out of things a little bit, right? Most people on the shop floor without an MES solution, they're maybe writing things down, about counting things. They're doing all that manually. They're transposing numbers if they're writing things down. Well, an MES solution is connecting to the machines and gathering information in an automated fashion. So when the machine cycles, it can say a part just got made, for example. Simple as that.
So it's in line with that digital transformation journey that people are having, and it's the IoT or IIoT world that we are living in.
100%. Yep.
When we start talking about resources and the challenges, you're going to be speaking here on that. What are some of the salient points in your conversation so people understand it is a challenge, but help us understand a little bit?
Yeah, well, I think there's a few things. I think the latest stat is there's over 800,000 unfilled manufacturing jobs as of October in the United States.
800,000?
I think the number's 806,000.
I like the fact that it got it to 6,000. I'll just round down.
Yeah. So people are having trouble finding people. In 2021, something like 47 million people left their jobs.
Again, say that again.
In 2021, 47 million people left their jobs. They either retired or moved to a new job. 47 million.
As I write these stats down, 47 mil left. So all of a sudden, we're in a deficit.
Big time deficit, right? Yeah, and these people are, in the old days, people were happy to get a job. They'd go put their application in and hope that they get that job. Now people are a lot more picky, right? They're looking for better wages. They're looking for better work conditions, better benefits. So some of them have left manufacturing because they maybe find more stability in, say, distribution during the whole COVID pandemic that we had, for example.
Wow. So with that stat, what are some of the solutions for? We've got to manufacture. We've got to be committed to it. We've got to.
Yep.
What are we doing? How do we mitigate?
Yeah, I think companies are doing lots of things. I mean, they're looking at putting in training programs. Making sure there's some kind of advancement path for people. That's what they want to see. Adding like non-monetary benefits, like maybe mental health days, for example, right? Things like that.
I don't even know what that sounds like. I mean, I was just like mental health day.
Well, yeah. They don't want to pay them anymore, right? They don't want to give them any sick days, but they could take so many mental health days, maybe unpaid leave, for example, during the year, right? So things like that.
Didn't understand that. No, that's amazing.
Yep. Yeah, and then I think software is helping, right? So software is, I think that is a big thing that's helping. I'm talking about a manufacturing execution system specifically. So things like onboarding new employees, right? You can have things like guided digital operating instructions. You mentioned you used to do some welding back in the day, I think, Scott.
Yeah, right? Long ago. We just discovered fire, and then we realized we could weld.
So imagine if you had, a digital instruction that you could visualize about what you needed to do from a welding perspective.
But Andrew, there's a lot of heavy lifting with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to create that whole ability to onboard and be able, and then keep up with it, because things change, right? Just like industry as a whole, it just changes so rapidly.
Yep.
Does your system allow for that nimble capability of saying, hey, yesterday we were sipping lattes. Today we're going to be doing whatever. And I mean, you have to be able to do that.
Absolutely. We're always looking at that, where we listen to our customers a lot as well. They have good ideas out there for advancements, and we're always listening to what analysts are saying and trying to stay ahead of the curve to make sure our software is at the leading edge of manufacturing business systems.
Does Epicor have a sort of a user group type of feel and use? Hey, come on over here, user group, and then we're going to be able to sort of talk about how we do X, Y, Z.
Yeah, so we have like an online user group, and then they have regional in-person user group meetings, and we have a really cool thing I like a lot. It's called Epicor Ideas. So the idea is a customer, one of our customers has an idea, they can post that idea on a portal, and it's kind of like crowdsourcing. Everybody within the Epicor group can see that idea and potentially vote on if that's something that they'd like to see.
Oh, because I was going to ask, what is the evaluation criteria for Epicor to say, hey, that's a good idea, but you want the user community to say...
We want their involvement. You got it.
It's not just Scott's desire to have that particular field. It's part of the user community.
Yeah, that's really important to us. We like to say, that our software is made for you, with you, right? Because we're trying to get that feedback from customers, and they're really influencing the direction the product is going to go.
Future hat time. Where do you see it going? What are you seeing? I mean, you're constantly improving and you're constantly refining the platform, your Epicor software.
Yep.
Where do you see it going?
Yeah, I think there's a few things, right? So recently we've added a module called Automation Studio to allow our customers to connect to peripheral systems that they have, right? So if they're using maybe like a Salesforce or something like that, easy connectors into that and then into Epicor. I think that integration side is going to be really important in the future.
Yeah, and being an old salty dog, I remember you always had those custom interfaces. You go to a client, and the client says, all our legacy systems are the most important things in the face of the earth, and I need to connect them. And then you're saying, okay, but it's going to require these custom interfaces, and it's going to cost X.
Yep.
Now with APIs and the ability, it just allows for the ability to be able to connect those precious legacy systems.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then the cloud would be the other thing I think is very important, right? So again, we think we want to be the cloud vendor of choice for the markets that we serve. So, the people that we have here at the show being a good example.
I think the country of Australia will be just one big cloud farm eventually. we were in, I think, Disney Springs. Yep. And of course, there's always people just clicking and videoing. It goes to a cloud. I don't know how they do that. But you do, because that's why you're Andrew and you're Epicor. All right, how do people get a hold of you? And they're saying, doggone it, Andrew's speaking my purpose.
Absolutely. Just get a hold of me at ROBLING, AROBLING, at epicor.com, EPICOR.
Andrew was wonderful. You got to agree with me on that, right, listeners?
That was fun.
Thanks, man. You are awesome. All right. Fear not, we're going to have Andrew's contact information out on industrialtalk.com. You need to reach out to this gent, at least have a conversation. Chirpy. All right, once again, we're broadcasting from FABTECH, Atlanta, Georgia. It is a buzzing, as you can tell in the background. We're going to have more great conversations shortly, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, another one in the can. Thank you very much again for joining Industrial Talk. Andrew Robling. Epicor is the company. You got to reach out to him. Go out to industrialtalk.com. Get all his contact information as well as the company information. And have a chat or chirp a bit. It's all going to be good. So reach out to Andrew. And I want to put this on your calendar once again. You need to go to FABTECH. You need to be a part of that event. I think it's in Chicago this year. And, it won't disappoint. And it's huge. And it has solutions everywhere. And the level of passion from the industrial representation there, off the charts. They definitely want to solve your problem. So look at FABTECH 2023, big time. Also, a plug for Mercy Chefs. Again, worked with this organization in the past. Excellent. And what they do is they run to areas of the world that are experiencing some serious difficulties, and they feed them. They feed them with great food. They're passionate about delivering that food. They're passionate about putting smiles on the face because they want to feed the body and definitely the soul, and they do it. Big hearts. Go out to Mercy Chefs. I got all the contact for them out on Industrial Talk. All right, be bold, be brave. Dare greatly. Hang out with Andrew. And yeah, you're going to change the world. Thank you very much. We have more coming from FABTECH. I know. It's just saying, Scott, when is this FABTECH ever going to end? It's never going to end because they're great people. So be on the lookout for more FABTECH.